You are right, Commissioner.
Okay, Benton County Commissioners are now in session. The first item we have on our agenda is indigent business, and the only thing that we have is a release of lien. And need a motion for signature.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize your signature on the release of lien.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next, we need to go into the Board of Ambulance.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we enter into the Board of Ambulance.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chief?
Good morning, Commissioners. Ryan O'Hearn, Bannock County Ambulance District. This morning we have before you a request for a capital purchase on 3 ventilators. These are machines that we can use when a patient is in cardiac arrest or even having respiratory difficulty. I think you've probably heard of CPAP before, and these machines are dual role. They operate as that. We had submitted for a grant through the Assistance to Firefighters grant, but it was denied, and so now we're trying to move forward with a capital purchase. These would be replacing some older units that aren't as versatile and aren't capable of doing both things. So this is kind of a more versatile piece of equipment and will improve our clinical care.
Okay, and this was part of the budget.
This was submitted as part of the
Project.
capital request for FY25.
We've got in the equipment line, we have money for ventilators and cots. So this 70,000 will come out of the 400 and leave 330,000 for ventilators. to potentially
It says
be
for
purchased.
each unit is $70,000.
No, this is
For all 3.
For all 3.
The cost of 3 units
Oh, it
in the
does say for
5-year service
each.
plan for each unit is $69,900, but
Oh,
so
no, I'm sorry, that's a typo. This is and I've attached the quote. This is for 3 units and the accompanying equipment and 5-year service plan. And
So the
it's
service
16.
plan is for each unit. So that's
Yeah.
probably where that,
Yeah, I apologize, that wasn't worded very well.
the total is $69,900.
Correct.
And
And in the invoice, that's what it has. All broke out.
And you currently, you said it's more versatile, so does that mean you have 2 different types of machines you use currently to accomplish this?
Correct. We
And
have a
this-
ventilator, and then we also have equipment that we use for CPAP, and those are separate. The ventilators are becoming antiquated, and they are still for sale, but the manufacturer has said they're no longer servicing them. This one, both of those units run off of oxygen as well. They're powered by oxygen, whereas this unit is powered by an internal battery, and so it doesn't use oxygen. So we feel like it'll be oxygen sparing, and over time it will actually decrease the amount we spend on oxygen. And it is just a more versatile piece of equipment that we can fine tune the pressures for respiratory interventions a little bit better. So we think it will elevate our level of care.
And you mentioned a grant we applied for. Do we normally get this type of equipment through that grant? Have we gotten that grant before?
We have gotten that grant before, and the last time we received it, it was for an auto load for a cot. And then last year, we received this same grant, and that was for paramedic training. So we have been fairly successful. However, this year we were not.
And if we didn't buy this now, would we apply for the grant next year, or do we have, or why? I'm getting the sense that that wouldn't really work out. Could you explain, if it would not, why?
I think our grant application this year was a little aggressive. We went forward to try to buy 4 units, and I think that was a little bit of an overreach. I think maybe if we had tried to buy 1 unit, we might have been successful, but I think they looked at it and they just thought that 4
But we would have
units-
still bought 2 then, through our capital.
We could have, yeah, and we certainly could go back with the grant. The grant actually just opened up, and we're actually we had identified that we would probably target a cot or autoloader for next year, because we did receive the Idaho EMS grant, and so we will need to put a cot and auto load in there as well as a monitor. So we could apply for one of those pieces of equipment under this grant is our plan for this year.
So you're of the opinion that really it wouldn't make sense to hold off and try to get a grant, but to replace this at this time?
I think so, and we've identified a couple of other items for the grant for this coming year that are also capital items that we would need for this ambulance.
Mhm.
Further questions?
Nope, you got any?
No, I read through that.
So you're good? Chairman, I move that we approve this expenditure as requested.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go back into the Board of County Commissioners and exit the Board of Ambulance. All right.
So do you want to vote on that motion?
Motion? Have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. Tony's not here. Kyle?
Kyle Burmester, Bannock County Public Works Director. Coming back before you, I don't think you were here last time I talked about this, Commissioner Moser, but last summer we were having trouble with our chipper. It's an electrical issue, but it's a software issue, so like our mechanics can fix this certain electrical, but not this software. We kind of decided in the last meeting to try to see if we could get it repaired, and I went back to the dealer that does this, and there's a dealer of like a couple employees. They won't guarantee us when they can get it done or when they can even get us on our schedule, but we're looking at almost a year out of even getting it fixed. And the problem I see is once we fix it, we're still dealing with the same company and the same kind of warranty and maintenance help. So I feel we should move with buying this used one from the cat dealer. They'll pull it out of Utah and bring it to Western States. Purchase it through Western States. It'll have warranty. We'll have somebody that can work on it when we can't, and it's a more chipper that's known around that a lot of people use, not more of a kind of specialty item.
Okay. And we had quite a bit of problem with that chipper this past season.
We've had, like say, our shop can fix all the normal like electrical or the engine and all that stuff, but it's got quite a fancy software package on it because it opens all the little openings on it, and that's the part that we can't fix. And then we can't purchase like the new software without them installing it, and kind of ties our hands.
Okay. Any questions?
Do we have the money in the budget for this?
Yeah, I think you're gonna, instead of getting a dump truck, you're gonna,
Yeah, so we have 400,000 budgeted for a dump truck, and we request to switch it and not purchase the dump truck and go with the new chipper at a 387,500, so we'd still be under budget.
I have no problem with it.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the purchase as requested.
I have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
You need to talk to the city of Ingham though, on some of these purchases. You see they just purchased a dump truck
I
seen that sander
with a wing
and a plow for under $100,000.
where did they get that?
That's what I said. You need to talk to the city of Ingham. They bought a bucket truck too.
Yeah, we looked on a lot of the bidding sites and stuff, and most of them were real high hours and mileage, but I don't know, that looked like a pretty nice truck. I seen the picture of it, so.
Yeah. Foster. Y'all have been busy.
Elise Foster, subdivision planner. You have before you an agreement with the city of McCammon. As you're aware, we did sign an agreement with city of Ingham a few weeks ago. They are requesting assistance on plan reviews and building inspections within city limits of McCammon. Currently, they're contracted with the state and having delayed time for customer service to get those applications moving forward. So they're hoping with us having a little bit more staff, it can help move those forward faster.
Okay.
And they'll collect the fees they keep, we'll collect the fees we keep.
The one with McCammon, that is correct.
Okay.
Every,
Different in the last other one?
it is, each city has a different fee schedule, and so they're making different requests based on what they have adopted already. Income, there is a percentage that we take, but they are collecting the fees and then forwarding the fees to us monthly.
If you have any situations where we collect the money and remit it to them, will you talk to me beforehand? Because that will
Absolutely.
kill our budget.
We are trying to avoid that.
And then we need to set up, should we set up separate line items for these monies? Because if these contracts ever go away, we could just set up a line that says permits other cities.
However you want to do it.
I think we do that because if we start counting on that as regular revenue, it could skew what projections are. And this way we can be more conservative in those lines. So if we started collecting any of those yet?
We have one check that we've collected, maybe two, and they're both from Income.
Okay. Let's talk after.
Okay.
I'll just email you and get those amounts and we'll just set up an email.
Questions on this motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agreement as presented.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
I'm gonna sign them both. Yeah, last time we signed 2 copies. Shanda.
Shanda Crystal, Chief Procurement Officer, and I am here with,
Dan Kendall, Facilities Director.
we've got a couple items before the board today. The first one is a recommendation to award the Exhibit Hall Plumbing invitation to bid. We went out to bid for these services for the building in Downing, and we received 2 bids back in. Having reviewed and meeting all mandatory requirements, we would like to recommend that the board award the Exhibit Hall Plumbing invitation to bid to Portneuf Valley Plumbing for $81,700.
Questions? Motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we award the contract as requested.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Great, and I've got letters for you.
Thank you.
The second item I have before the board today is a recommendation to award the Exhibit Hall HVAC invitation to bid. As we went out to bid for this project, we received 3 bids back in. You might recall that the lower bid on this one was quite a bit different than the other 2 that came in. The lowest bid came in at just over $96,000. The other 2 were in the $250,000 range. That sparked additional review on our end. So as we look to make sure that everyone met the mandatory requirements, which they do, Dan looked a little more into what was bid for that low bid, and there was an exclusion listed in there. So that exclusion, as we did an independent cost estimate, we would guesstimate that the entire project to come in around $140,000. And we would like to recommend at this time that the board award the Exhibit Hall HVAC project to Chiron Air Conditioning for an amount to be determined, right? We would need to talk with them. Our independent cost estimate may be different than theirs. If we can't come to an agreement, we do have it in our procedures that we can cancel that and move to the next one. Our biggest concern with the other two bids is they are well over what was budgeted. And so we would have to have additional conversations of how we would recommend the board move forward if that was to be the case.
Well, I think we ought to go forward and have a conversation anyway. Okay?
It's all right with me.
Okay. Motion?
I'm not sure what I'm
To,
moving to do here, except to move forward with discussions.
so I would like to recommend that the board award the invitation to bid for the Exhibit Hall HVAC project to Chiron Air Conditioning at this time. That would then authorize contract discussions, right? That would be our next step, is to put out there is to make sure that they can meet all of those mandatory requirements for ARPA and get a contract back before the board.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize the contract, or approve this contract as she's presented.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 And I do have letters prepared on that as well.
Thank you.
Now, on that electrical work, will Sharon be responsible to find a contractor to do that? Or is there a chance that we would do that separate?
The electrical work on the HVAC.
Yeah.
So the electrician would get the power to his equipment and we put the equipment in, so
Okay.
everything's covered.
Okay. But he'll be responsible to get that contractor, or?
It's already on the electrical contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
The third item I had before the board was a potential signature with Headwaters, and that has been moved to Thursday's discussion. And the fourth item I have, if I could have Elise, please. Elise was kind enough to stay and kind of be, if there was any questions. My fourth request is to request to waive planning and development fees on the county construction projects. So I did ask Elise if she would just hang out with me a little bit in case you had additional questions, as she knows way more about that world than I do. But we do have several construction projects going on county properties. The YDC Event Center office building up at the Event Center is one of them. The exhibit hall down in Downey is another. And then the tactical training remodel at the detention center. All of those we anticipate running through our planning and zoning department. And then normally, right, there would be fees with that. We would ask that we waive those fees because then we're not paying ourselves, I guess, is my request.
Any concerns?
Our office does not have any concerns. There will be additional permitting required through the state. They will not have the ability to waive their fees, but as far as county fees go, I think staff can handle the inspections.
I don't- Why transfer monies? That's all I can say.
You don't have any concerns about this?
We've waived fees for like landfill and items like that, so.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this request to waive the planning and development fees for the county construction projects.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I texted Tony and Teresa, and I haven't heard back yet. I know what this is, if you want to try and proceed with Tony's item. I can try and answer any questions. We've done this in the past. What the request is we're retiring a K-9. We just received 2 additional K-9s that showed up on Friday last week.
Okay.
One to replace a K-9 that had passed away this fall, and then another one to replace Gentox, which is the one we're talking about today.
To replace,
Gentox is the K-9's dog, or
Okay.
the K-9's name. It's been practice in the past that when we retire an animal, that the handler can have that animal just simply because he's become a part of the family. And so this request is just to do that exact thing. We'll sell it to him for $1,
oh, okay.
and then he becomes his to care for the remainder of his life.
And I guess this has gone through legal. That's one of my questions.
That I
The
do not-
contract, or just,
do not know, but I believe this is the same document that we've used in the past, but I could not tell you that 100%.
I don't have the contract.
The ones
on
that,
mine.
what's that?
I don't have the contract on here.
It's not attached.
And that's, this is the line that kind of does not agree to, if anything had happened with that dog in the past, that it's our sole responsibility. He does not agree that there was just the one sentence in there that kind of, one sentence says that he agrees that once he takes ownership, that anything that happens with the dog is his responsibility. Anything that has happened in the past is not his
I
responsibility.
wonder if that means if, say, the animal had bit someone and there was a prior lawsuit, like before today,
And that
and
almost,
if that had not been filed yet, oh, Christy Davenport just said legal has approved.
she's watching, okay.
I'm selling the dog.
Okay, that's, I mean, I was just hoping somebody was here. Thanks, Christie.
That seems okay to me.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to fill in just because it's unusual for Tony not to be here or respond.
Well, and I didn't understand through this that it was a replacement,
Yes.
that there was a dog that
Yes.
this was being replaced by reading through this either.
Well,
So-
and I only know that because Teresa got a hold of me about the purchase of the new
Okay.
one, so.
Okay, I don't have any problem.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the request from the sheriff's office as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody listening and present. Yes. All right, that brings us to, we have one invoice.
Engineer work.
Engineer working at the steel building in Downey.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the invoice as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the other is salary rate approval form.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the salary rate approval forms as presented.
With that being said,
Did
we
you
are.
not vote on the salary
Oh,
approval?
we have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm just moving along
Skipping all
today.
these motions
I'm just
today.
moving along, sorry. We have a motion, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yep.